Nicole here, and I'd like to welcome you to episode number 23 of Nicole's Weekly Words. It's so lovely to have you here. Thank you for joining me. Whether you are on my Facebook page, Sydney English Teacher, in my Facebook group, The Successful English Learner, or over on my YouTube channel, The Successful English Learner, I welcome you and I look forward to teaching you 5 great new words today. As you know, we've been looking at different letters of the alphabet, and each week we are learning 5 new words that start with a different letter. We're up to O today, so I'd like to teach you 5 great words that I've chosen for you, and they all start with the letter O. Are you ready? Okay, so the words I've chosen for today are obliterate, obsolete, ominous, ovation, and opulent. I guarantee you're going to learn something new, even if you think that you already know these words. So the goal is for us to learn the detailed explanation, the detailed meaning of these words, and more importantly, how to use them, because that's the goal. We want you to be able to use these words confidently and accurately by the end of the week. Are you with me? Excellent. Stick around, and later on today, if you're live with me, I will be uploading the worksheet for episode 23, where you will be able to download and print out all of the words from today, all of the meanings of those words, and of course, lots of wonderful example sentences. There's also room for you to take your own notes, so I always suggest that the first time you watch, you just listen, observe, learn. The second time you print out the worksheet, watch and listen again, and add your own notes as you're looking at that worksheet. Wonderful. Well, let's start with the first word for today, and that is the word obliterate. Can you say that? Obliterate. Your turn. Yeah, obliterate. So look, obliterate is used when something is completely destroyed, when something is completely wiped out. You know, it's also used when something has been cancelled, I suppose, and it no longer exists, you know, it can no longer continue. So that's the idea behind the word obliterate, you know, when all signs of something are completely destroyed so that it doesn't exist anymore. You know, maybe there's a storm, maybe there's a volcano, a hurricane, maybe even a bushfire. You know, a natural disaster might completely destroy an area. It might destroy a town so that it no longer exists. It's no longer livable, I suppose. That's when you use the word obliterate. So when you do something, I suppose, to make an idea or a feeling disappear, that's another use of obliterate. So you do something so that an idea or a feeling disappears. You no longer remember it, I suppose. So it could be a bad experience or a health crisis or a death or maybe even a breakup. You know, you do something so that it's completely forgotten. It's out of your memory. It's gone forever. And you do this to make yourself feel better, of course. You've completely removed it from your memory. That's obliterate. So we can use it for memory, emotion, a thought, a bad experience, when you are simply removing it, forgetting it, and putting it behind you. So number 1, when something is completely destroyed and unlivable or unusable, we use obliterate. Number 2, when you are completely eliminating a memory, a bad experience, a feeling, you put it behind you, you obliterate as well. Some examples. She was determined to obliterate her memories of the kidnapping and to move forward with her life. Or last year's bushfire basically obliterated this entire area. I'm so glad to see some life restored and some trees and plants growing again, and to see the wildlife returning. Or as the tide came in, the waves obliterated the sand castles that we had spent all afternoon building. So there you go. Number 2, we've got obsolete. Can you say that? Obsolete. Excellent. So when something is obsolete, it is no longer used, it's no longer useful, I suppose. So obsolete, the word obsolete is used when something has become old-fashioned, I suppose, or unimportant. It has been replaced. It's not needed anymore. It's not useful anymore, I suppose. So maybe something else has replaced it, We might be talking about technology, Technology is constantly improving and getting better and better and better. So something better might have been invented to replace this particular thing. Videos were replaced by DVDs, then we replaced DVDs with downloads, and then we started streaming. So that's, I suppose, obsolete now. A video tape has become obsolete and has been replaced by all of these different things. Same with cassettes, I suppose. They're obsolete now too. Cassettes were replaced by CDs, and then again we started downloading music, and now we stream music. So that's basically obsolete now. We don't use videos or cassettes anymore, or not as often, I suppose. So look, we use obsolete when we're talking about technology, maybe about fashion, when fashion is replaced and it changes, or maybe even about work methods, the way that you work changes, or maybe even books, and print materials, because they're all online now, they're all accessible digitally. So that's obsolete. So let me give you some examples. We've got his farming methods have become obsolete. Nowadays, machinery has taken over from manual labor to make the life of a farmer a lot easier. Or cassettes have sadly almost become obsolete. I can't even buy a cassette recorder to play them on anymore. Or do you believe that in a few more years, letters will become obsolete and people will send everything electronically? Maybe. There you go. The third word for today is ominous. Can you say that? Ominous. Excellent. So look, ominous is used when something gives you the really worrying impression that something bad is going to happen. You've got a feeling that something bad is coming. So it's really when something suggests that something unpleasant will most likely happen, There's a really high chance that something negative will happen. That's when you use the word ominous. It's really introducing the fact that you have that feeling that something bad is on its way. If you describe something ominous, you're basically saying that it worries you because it really makes you think that something bad is just around the corner. There's something bad coming pretty soon. So that's ominous, that feeling, that expression of, oh, help, I have the feeling that something bad is coming. That's ominous. So we might say there was an ominous feeling when the manager called a staff meeting to make an announcement. Everyone just knew that they wouldn't like what he was about to say. Or the ominous silence at the end of the phone was a really worrying sign. Or She thinks the future looks ominous. We have to change her mind. Or looking at those ominous clouds, I'm certain that a storm is on its way. Excellent. Number 4, are you ready? We've got the word ovation. Can you say that? Ovation. Excellent. And look, ovation describes a situation where a crowd or an audience, I suppose, expresses great enjoyment or maybe even approval of something. You know, it basically means that they really like what has happened so much that they clap really, really, really loudly for an extended period of time, you know. Often they stand up at the same time and they clap and clap and clap and clap, and they don't stop clapping. You know, it's just their way of showing the person, the performer, the entertainer, whoever that might be, that they really, really like what they've just done, that they appreciate what they just saw or what they just heard. They're really, really happy. So look, it's a really large amount of applause from an audience for a particular performer or particular speaker. You know, it could be an actor, a singer, a sports person, an entertainer. It doesn't really matter. The idea is that that group of people who have just seen this and witnessed this show how much they enjoyed it by clapping, 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 loud, 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 you know, standing up, maybe cheering, yay, at the same time. So that's ovation. Often we say standing ovation too, just to overemphasize that excitement. You know, they jump out of their chair because they loved it so much. Let me give you some examples. She was deservedly, start again. She was deservedly given a standing ovation after her incredible performance. Or it was his last game before retirement. The crowd gave a standing ovation at the end of the match to show their appreciation of his talent, but also to say thanks for 10 great years of tennis. Or even though they had clearly lost, their supporters gave the team a long, loyal ovation. How nice. Are you ready for the last word for this week? So I've chosen the word opulent. Can you pronounce that? Opulent. Your turn. Opulent, that's right. So look, when something is opulent, it means that it is overly expensive. It's overly luxurious, you know. It can show that someone is extremely wealthy, really, really, really rich, you know, and they are showing off their wealth or showing off their riches by what they wear or by what they do. Maybe by where they go or where they live, perhaps. Maybe even by what they own. So these are all unnecessary things, obviously. They're not needed. However, because they're so rich and they're used to this extravagant lifestyle, these things are completely normal for them. Yeah, so look, something opulent is really impressive to outsiders because, you know, it's the best of the best. It's the most expensive, you know. It's when people are walking around with a golden Rolex or with, you know, maybe a Rolls Royce. They're driving a Rolls Royce or they're living in a, you know, multi-million-dollar house with 10 bedrooms. So it's overly extravagant and overly luxurious and very, very, very expensive. So look, opulent can describe a person who owns as well as exhibits great wealth. You know, they're very rich and they show their riches to everybody. by what they say, what they do, what they wear, where they go, where they live, etc. But opulent is also used to describe something that's extravagant and luxurious and abundant, something that us regular people, I suppose, can only dream of. That's opulent. Let's have a look at some examples. So he has such an opulent lifestyle, traveling all over the world and staying in the best hotels. But you know what? He doesn't appear to be very happy. Or the resort and its surroundings can only be described as opulent. They are simply breathtaking. Or she is the spoilt child of opulent parents, and she has never experienced the real world or had to work a day in her life. So there you go. There are 5 words for this week. We've got the word obliterate, obsolete, ominous, ovation, and opulent. I hope you really, really enjoyed learning them with me. Your job now, apologies, I'm so sorry, too much talking. Your job now is to practice these words. So I'd like you to download the worksheet, print it out, watch this again, take your own notes, write your own sentences, and then try to use these words as often as possible this week. And, you know, further in the future, not just this week, but next week and next month as well. So these great words all starting with O. I hope you enjoy them. If you have any questions, please just ask down here in the comments section. I'm always happy to help. And yeah, have a wonderful week. You know, don't obliterate anything. Don't allow anything to be obsolete. Nothing is ominous. Give everyone a standing ovation and dream of having a life that is opulent. Wonderful. Have a great day, everyone. Thanks for listening. Bye.